The good news is that the winds aren't as violent as they were yesterday in Chicago, but it's still pretty darn cold. To be expected, I guess, for December football at Soldier Field. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears. Here's the Australian-born punter Mitch Wishnowsky to get things going. And off we go from Soldier Field. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. First play's a run with Nwangu. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Their first play from scrimmage is a pickup of 13. Plays like that will really help this offense settle in here on the road.
And when you go on the road, you also have to deal with the fans as well. And when you have those types of runs, that'll settle them back into their seats.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Jet sweep. Here's Pickens with it. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
Now a 2nd down and 6. They'll go option to the short side. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
On 3rd down, Jackson got this complete to Jahan Dotson. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground and how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 46. First carry now for A.J. Dillon. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now, Jackson. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. To throw is Jackson. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Jalen Thompson picks it. And the Bears are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Hey, a confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here we go.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
11 MT tight. 12, 12, 12. 11 MT, 11 MT.
Now it's Burrow. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Richie Grant. And the Eagles are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The Georgia man, Roquan Smith, came in and got him.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
This time Jackson will throw it. Looking for Dotson, and he's got him. 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jahan Dotson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Eagles take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
11, 11, 11, 11.
They go play action with Burrow. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Bradley Chubb in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off of the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
Here we go.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
11, 11.
Burrow will throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And here's Rodgers on the return. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They currently sit 1 game over 500 thanks to their victory a week ago. But Charles, they've been really an up. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
Here we go. 11, 11, 11. 11, 11, 11, 11.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Ready?
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4.
11, Mighty. 11, Thomas.
Now it's Burrow. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So here's Greg Zuerlein now as he'll try for the field goal. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the fumble recovery had him set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Jackson. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for now. 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
second down, here's Barkley again. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up third down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. Third and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play action sack.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
On second down, here's DeWangu. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. No gain that time, and it leaves him with third and 11 coming up. This offense so far on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is third and 11. They go play action now. Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Had to pass there. Third and long on your inside of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for third and short, because when it's third and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they enter play here in this one on a 2-game win streak, plus they come off the open week as well. So this is a team that has a lot of things working in their favor.
Oh, it certainly is, and let's face it, this team is playing so well. The worry now is that after a few extra days off, they'll be sluggish coming into this game. So I've heard that they spent more time in practice working what they call good versus good, starting offense versus starting defense. They want a fast start in this next game. Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
All around great play by Devin Lloyd, using his athleticism to get to the backfield and his strength to stop him for a loss.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Ready? Here we go. 11 MT.
Burrow on play action. Steps away to his left. Going deep here for Watkins. And a very good return as he'll take it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost getting into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now left side on the swing pass. And they're going to get this up to midfield. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because they'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Throwing on second and long. Jackson. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
Certainly feels like the classic second guess, but let's be honest about it. They had a chance going to halftime with the lead. Why did they take a chance with a throw there? I don't understand that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. And now this defense has to try to protect that lead going into the locker room.
On 2.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
Here we go.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Here we go.
Here's Burrow. And this is caught by Watkins. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Late in the season now, MVP chatter starts, and he might be on the fringe. This is always an award that goes quarterback, running back, usually quarterback. A lot of bias. Does he deserve consideration?
He more than deserves consideration because the way the game is played in the NFL now, it's a pass-first league, right? So that means that people...
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Quez Watkins as the first half is winding down. And the Bears have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Zerline connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Derwin James with a pick. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. Wow, a big mistake there. Late interception in this first half, and that could lead to a field goal try the other way.
Yeah, I think at this point you just had to say, let's take a knee and go into the half and regroup. Let's just talk it over a little bit. I wonder, partner, was the analytics coach in his head a little bit? Maybe go ahead and press it, try and get some points. While the old school coach probably would have said, take the knee, let's get out of here.
Now we could see points the other way here. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
11 mighty. 11 MT, take.
Second and 10 now, Burrow. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. That is a tough way to start the third quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They go play action with Jackson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now the drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and well, we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter.
11 MT. Stop.
Now they go play action now. Burrow. He finds his man, complete. It's Watkins. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. A little tough on the secondary there, in zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Isaiah Rodgers. And the Eagles are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
Well, nursing such a small lead, you thought he'd take better care of the football after his last drive. Now for the second straight possession, he's put all the pressure right back on his defense. They need to take a stand and hold that lead.
They'll start by running the option to the right. Past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Well, we've certainly seen this before, CD. No one can quite electrify a crowd like Lamar Jackson, and really don't know what else to say other than that was special right there.
I think you pretty much said it all, but I go back to what you said about electrifying a crowd. He's also electrifying us, and we're calling the game. This guy's simply sensational.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Here we go.
And the Eagles with a dime look. 6 DBs on 3rd down.
11, 90. 11, 90. 11, 11, 11. 12, 12, 12.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one, and that's undeniable. But that time, the defense was on to it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Got his man. It's the tight end Long.
Touchdown, Eagles. Hunter Long, 25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Eagles take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Lutz good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
This one was all about clearing space for this play to work because he's going to leak out of the backfield to his right, then angle his way up the field, and a really pretty throw to put it on him and create the big play downfield.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. 11, 11,
11, 12, 12, 12.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
We're glad you're with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10.
11 MP, take. 11, 12, 12. Stop.
Play action. It's Burrow. He's going to look deep for Watkins. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Richie Grant. And the Eagles are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You've got to go compete for the ball so that you don't get another one picked off.
6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
On 1st down, they'll run with Nwangu.
Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The offense on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
They'll go right back to Nwangu.
Yeah, they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 third-down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
On 2nd down, here's the option.
And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and make sure he spills it for a small gain.
Able to connect with Dotson. And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Straight ahead, here's Nwangu.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
I think he had to load that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
The Jackson going to hold on to it again.
And some room to roam now. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Play action. Now Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Sky Moore.
29 yards.
And the Eagles are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33.
Here we go, here we go.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
11 mighty.
As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
11 MP, take. 11, stop.
Now Burrow. And that is incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Here we go.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
11. Stop.
Burrow looking to pass. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here, not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Jalen Thompson picks it. And the Bears are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
On 1, ready?
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers.
Here we go, here we go.
2nd and 8 coming up. Burrow.
And incomplete on the deep ball. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
Here we go.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down.
Throwing. Burrow. Finding Watkins.
And they work this out past the 25. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
He's got a man complete. The 20. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for 1 here. As this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So there is still time, a little over 50 seconds to go, but this becomes a critical onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw.
Yeah, he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one's going to fall incomplete.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
There's several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he's fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Here's Burrow.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it. And he's into the end zone. No flags. It's a touchdown. And now a 2-point conversion. And we'll be tied here in the final minute.
Do they have one big call left? Here we go. The touchdown's massive, but now they've got to have 2 to possibly take this to overtime.
Here we go.
Burrow.
And it's caught. And with it, we are tied here in the fourth. So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away.
Bringing it out of his end zone, Isaiah Rodgers. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Jackson.
He's going to look deep for more. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Looking for Dotson, and he's got him.
So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
Jackson.
And this is going to be intercepted. Jalen Thompson picks it, and the Bearsons are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. Yes, folks, that is his third interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
Now Burrow.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So it's the Eagles who will get the first chance to go down and find a winner as they'll get it here, and we are back underway. Fields it right around the goal line.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive.
And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, what can we break out that they haven't seen?
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
77 yards rushing for him now as he was just trying to will his guys to an overtime victory.
They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free, but we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they said. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go.
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime.
So it's the Eagles who get the win here, and it was just too much Lamar Jackson. He really played well.
Yeah, he really carved up this defense. They were left looking at each other a number of times and just shrugging their shoulders. He had 4 touchdown passes and even had another on the ground for good measure. Really just played a whale of a ball game.
So for Philadelphia, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Big D to take on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they fall to 8-6 with the loss. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills.